everyone, I'm Lana from Radio 314. Well, I keep hearing about cultural appropriation said by non-whites who live in and enjoy the fruits of a Western nation built by European culture. Few bring up all that the world has culturally appropriated from Europeans, like Yule, which many know as Christmas. Yule was a Northern European celebration centered around the winter solstice. Today, we hear people in the multicultural West say, you have to say Happy Christmas, Kwanzaa, and Hanukkah.
Baby Jesus, Happy Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah.
But all three of these are imposters, attempting to ride the energy of European Yule. Let's first look at Kwanzaa. We are told this is an exclusively African-American festival that begins on December 26th, which celebrates African heritage and family. It is not a Christmas celebration. The truth is, Kwanzaa is not honored in Africa. It was manufactured in 1966 by a black radical FBI stooge, Ron Everett, aka Dr. Lana Karenga, founder of United Slaves, a violent rival to the Black Panthers. Turns out Ron was also snitching to the FBI, reporting on the inside of the Black Power scene, the scene that was created and encouraged by white Marxists in America. But Ron Karenga was also a white-hating criminal with a major record, and a rapist who was convicted of torturing his victims, even his female comrades. Both Deborah Jones and Gail Davis described how Karenga had demanded that they strip naked. Then he whipped them with electrical cords and beat them with a karate baton. Detergent and a gushing hose were forced into their mouths. One had a toe clamped in a vise. This is a sick man. While Karenga talked about black unity in 1969, his gang clashed with the Black Panthers over control of a Black Studies program at UCLA. Of course, they all had guns, and 2 Panthers were shot dead. In 1971, Ron was sentenced for his crimes, for up to 10 years, but got out in a few. He gets out of jail and becomes a professor who took over the Black Studies department at California State University, which he runs to this day. He presumably wrote a study in classical African ethics. A violent rapist criminal is writing on African ethics and is published in American textbooks. And this man is a main figure in the Black Power movement. Kwanzaa. This pathetic holiday lacks any authenticity. For one, the name of Kwanzaa and each of its principles are in Swahili, a language not even spoken by anyone brought to America in the days of the slave trade who came from Western Africa. The Kwanzaa ceremonies have no African counterparts, and they don't even make sense. For the day of Muhindi, ears of corn are set aside for each child in the family, but corn is not indigenous to Africa, it's Mesoamerica. Another ripoff is the candles and the menorah concept, exactly like in Hanukkah. A different candle is lit each day. The principles signify crypto-Marxist values with anti-white overtones. But Karl Marx was a Jew, not a black man. They say the 7 candles symbolize the sun. But in Africa, most desert dwellers hide from the sun because it's too hot. They're lunar people. The solar edition is a ripoff from the European Winter Solstice celebration, which centers around the sun in the cold of winter. And Kwanzaa is supposed to be a harvest ritual in December. The major farmers in Africa are the white ones being murdered to this day. It's no coincidence that Kwanzaa falls around the same time as European Yule, which is a celebration of the winter solstice in the north, an ancient European pre-Christian tradition. He could have chosen any other time, but Karenga knows that this is about being anti-Yule or anti-Christmas. It's about him being anti-white and making a statement. Al Sharpton declared that the Kwanzaa feast would perform the much-needed service of de-whiteizing Christmas. Hey Al, Jesus was Jewish, not white, and Christmas was entirely borrowed from Yule, which we'll get into last. And Yule is most definitely white. Karenga's blacks-only anti-Christmas, anti-Yule celebration is now an established, taxpayer-supported seasonal school event. It's no wonder, though, because chances are high that Ron still works for the FBI, doing the bidding of the elites who are actively pushing policies that are blatantly anti-white. Because today, the rapist, torturer, gang member is absolved of all sins because he sings the chorus of multiculturalism.
Therefore, we understand that America is not a white finished product, but an ongoing, unfinished, multicultural project. An ongoing, unfinished, multicultural project.
Not a white finished product, but an ongoing multicultural project? And he repeats it as though he memorized it from a script. Hey Ron, why isn't Africa an ongoing multicultural project? Why does this only apply wherever white people live? And if he loves black people so much, why doesn't he live where they are in Africa? One thing's for sure, this project is quickly becoming the projects.
And each people has both the right and responsibility to speak its own special cultural truth and to make its own unique contribution to how this society is conceived and constructed. So multiculturalism is central to the educational mission.
He says each people has the right to push their culture and have a say in how society is constructed. Sure, unless you're white, but Europeans have already conceived and constructed this society. He's talking about deconstruction, changing America to be something that is not European. So some guy who came to America from Africa last week has the right to push his will on the founding stock, because this is an ongoing project. And this anti-white mission is the central, most important thing in education, he says. But of course, in this multicultural project and celebration of culture, European student unions aren't even allowed. Yeah, we live in such a system of white supremacy. Bottom line, Kwanzaa is a fraud and it is anti-white.
Kwanzaa traditions are quite ancient, dating back over 1,000 years.
Whoa! What's that, Black Santa?
You need 7 Kwanzaa candles that you light up every night. But they best be made of beeswax, so y'all might as well be white.
They must be made of beeswax.